Welcome to Infinite Heights, a place where wealth making is learned and conserved, a place where the sky is not the limit. The US-China trade war has escalated, and the stakes are massive. The United States hit China with $60 billion in tariffs, expecting resistance. But China struck back, strategically targeting America's economic core. This isn't just about trade, it's about long-term dominance. From securing rare resources to forging global alliances, Beijing is reshaping economic power. Supply chains are shifting, industries are feeling the heat, and the future is uncertain. So how will this battle impact the United States? Here are 7 key ways China is tipping the scales. Before we jump in, please hit subscribe. It is free to you, but yet, it helps the channel tremendously. Thank you. Let's move on. Number 7. The rare earth mineral advantage. China's silent economic weapon. Rare earth minerals are the backbone of modern technology, powering EVs, smartphones, and even military hardware. With China controlling 80% of the global supply, it holds a massive economic advantage. After the United States imposed new tariffs, China hinted at restricting exports, a strategic warning rather than an empty threat. If enforced, this move could cripple US tech production and defense systems. While America has reserves, refining rare earths is expensive and environmentally challenging. Meanwhile, China is forging stronger partnerships with Brazil and Indonesia, further limiting US access. Without a clear strategy to secure alternative suppliers, the United States risks falling behind in the global tech race. Will Washington act before it's too late? Number 6. Energy warfare. How China is cutting off US oil and gas exports. China, once a top buyer of US oil and LNG, retaliated against tariffs by slapping taxes on American energy, drastically cutting demand. US energy companies scrambled for new buyers as contracts were lost and profits nosedived. But China wasn't just playing defense. It pivoted to Russia, the Middle East, and domestic production to reduce dependence on American fuel. This shift isn't just a temporary reaction. China's new suppliers offer competitive deals, making it unlikely that American energy will regain lost ground, even if trade tensions ease. These partnerships will likely stay intact. The result? The United States loses not just revenue, but long-term geopolitical leverage in one of the most crucial energy markets. While America focuses on trade disputes, China is securing its future energy dominance. Number 5. The rise of a tech superpower. China's race to independence. For years, the United States has tried to contain China's tech growth by restricting access to advanced semiconductor chips, cutting ties with Huawei, and blocking Chinese tech firms from American markets. But China didn't fold. Instead, it doubled down on innovation. The Chinese government has injected billions into its domestic tech industry, fueling rapid advancements in AI, semiconductor manufacturing, and 5G networks. Companies like SMIC, China's biggest chip maker, are now producing chips that rival those of industry leaders like Intel. Rather than slowing China down, these US policies have accelerated its self-sufficiency in cutting-edge technology. Today, China is no longer just catching up. It's competing head-to-head with the United States in industries that will shape the future. And as Beijing strengthens tech collaborations with Europe and Southeast Asia, America's control over the global tech landscape is weakening. Before we delve deeper, do us a favor and smash that like and subscribe button. This helps us reach more auto enthusiasts just like you. Now let's shift gears and steer towards our next point. Number 4. A blow to American farmers. China's shift to alternative suppliers. American agriculture is one of the hardest-hit industries in this trade war. Before the tariffs, China was the largest buyer of U.S. soybeans, corn, and pork. Now it's turning to Brazil and Argentina, slashing its reliance on American farms. The immediate impact. U.S. farmers are left with surplus crops, falling prices, and rising debt. The government issued bailout packages to offset the damage, but those are just temporary band-aids. The real danger lies ahead. China's new trade partnerships may be permanent, meaning American farmers could struggle to regain lost markets, even if trade relations improve. And it's not just a financial problem. The agricultural sector holds significant political weight, particularly in key voting regions, with farmers feeling the economic squeeze. Pressure on U.S. leaders to rethink trade policies is mounting. Number 3. The global supply chain shift. China's move to reduce U.S. dependence. China saw the supply chain disruption coming long before the tariffs hit. Over the past decade, it has quietly invested in alternative manufacturing hubs across Vietnam, Indonesia, and even parts of Africa. The goal to diversify production away from the U.S. and its allies. With major corporations reevaluating their supply chains, China's strategic investments are paying off. Companies that once relied on Chinese factories are now facing tough decisions. Stick with China's new trade routes or incur higher costs moving production elsewhere. This isn't just a short-term shift, it's a permanent reconfiguration of global trade, making China less reliant on U.S. economic ties while strengthening its hold over global manufacturing. Number 2. The quiet economic pressure. China's hold on U.S. debt. China owns over $800 billion in U.S. government debt. Now selling it all at once would be economically disastrous for both countries. However, even small adjustments in China's debt purchases can send shockwaves through financial markets. After the recent tariff hikes, China began scaling back its U.S. debt purchases, which has led to higher borrowing costs for the U.S. government. That translates to higher interest rates for home loans, car loans, and credit cards, hitting the wallets of everyday Americans. This move demonstrates a subtle but effective form of economic retaliation, one that operates behind the scenes yet carries massive consequences for the American economy. Number 1. China's Masterstroke. Building a new global trade order. While the U.S. focuses on imposing tariffs, China is forging new trade agreements across the globe. Beijing has signed landmark deals with the European Union, Russia, Southeast Asian nations, and Latin America, creating a trade ecosystem where the U.S. plays a diminishing role. This strategy is about more than just avoiding tariffs. It's about creating a world where China is the dominant economic force. As American businesses struggle to navigate this shifting landscape, they're not just losing market share. They're losing influence in international trade policies. The result? A new economic order, one where China sets the rules while the U.S. scrambles to keep up. Conclusion: the future of the U.S.-China trade war. The U.S.-China trade war is no longer just about tariffs. It's about economic survival and global dominance. While America hoped to pressure China into submission, Beijing has responded with calculated, long-term strategies that are reshaping global trade. The U.S. now faces a critical question. Can it counter China's rising influence, or is it already too late? The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing is clear. The global economic landscape is shifting. And only time will reveal who truly holds the power. What do you think? Is the U.S. playing its cards right, or is China winning the trade war? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We love to hear from you. For the latest updates on the automotive world and more in-depth analysis, subscribe to Infinite Heights and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching and see you next time.